You know, when we think of Cairo, our minds usually jump straight to history, right? Pyramids, ancient wonders, things frozen in time. But that's really just one piece of the puzzle. So today, we're going to look past the monuments to understand what Cairo is now, a living, breathing, and just unbelievably persistent megacity. Let's dig into how it all works.
This quote, it just nails it. It perfectly captures what the city feels like. You've got this incredible sense of deep time, but it's crashing into this intense, demanding, present-day reality. It's like a constant negotiation between the past and the right now, happening on every single street corner.
And that immediate reality? Well, the scale is just staggering. We are talking about a metropolitan area with over 20 million people. And that's not just a number on a page, right? That number is the raw, kinetic energy that drives the city's constant motion, its massive challenges, and honestly, its incredible ability to just keep going.
So to really get a handle on the Cairo of today, you've got to peel back the layers. You have to start at the very foundation. Because Cairo's identity isn't just about its own history, but about the history of civilization itself, right on this very spot.
Yeah, and this idea of layering is absolutely crucial. See, modern Cairo sits right near the spot of some of humanity's first huge cities, like Memphis. The city didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It accumulated, layer upon layer, on top of thousands of years of people living right here along the Nile.
So why here? Of all places, why here? The answer is this concept called centrality. For millennia, this specific bend in the Nile has been like a giant, invisible magnet. It has this gravitational pull that draws people in who are looking for water, for work, for power. And that ancient force, it's still shaping the city today.
Okay, so that ancient foundation sets the stage for what happens next. In the modern era, Cairo has just exploded. We're talking non-stop growth that puts an almost unimaginable amount of pressure on every single part of the city.
And this is where you see the real tension in how Cairo develops. On the one hand, you have the official plan, right? This vision of neat, orderly expansion. But then there's the reality. And the reality is a city that grows organically, relentlessly, absorbing every single inch of available space. Rooftops become apartments. Alleyways become markets. The city doesn't just expand outward, it consumes inward.
So what happens when a city grows like that? Well, the whole system gets pushed to its absolute limit. The infrastructure, we're talking roads, the power grid, the water supply, it's all perpetually overwhelmed. Any solution is always a step or two behind the constantly growing demand. It creates this state of constant strain that you can actually feel.
And that right there, that gets to the heart of how this city actually survives. It's not about finding some big permanent solution to its problems. It's about adaptation. Cairo functions because of millions of tiny daily workarounds and constant adjustments. Persistence, not perfection, is really the name of the game here.
This brings us to the most important layer of all, the one you need to understand to really get modern Cairo. It's this hidden logic, this informal structure that was born completely out of necessity.
I mean, if you just look from the outside at the traffic, the crowds, the neighborhoods that seem to have no plan at all, it's a fair question to ask, right? Is this city just pure chaos?
But the answer is, kind of surprisingly, no. What looks like chaos is actually a highly functional, incredibly complex, informal structure. It's a type of order that wasn't designed by some central planner, but was built from the ground up by millions of people who just needed to make their lives work.
So how does it actually work? Well, it's pretty simple when you break it down. First, gaps start to appear where the official systems can't keep up, with things like housing or jobs or transportation. So then, communities just naturally start to self-organize to fill those gaps themselves. And over time, these informal networks, they don't just help out the formal system, they basically become the main functional structure of the city. All right, so where does a city like this go from here? What does the future hold? It's probably not about finding some final fix. It's more about how this already stretched city is just going to keep on adapting.
And look, the pressures are not letting up. In fact, they're only going to get more intense. The population is going to keep growing, climate change is going to bring new kinds of stress like water shortages, and the demand for housing, it's just going to continue to feel completely overwhelming. The challenges are enormous.
But here's the thing. If there's one lesson we can take from Cairo's entire history, it's this. The city endures. The future isn't going to break Cairo. It's not going to replace it.
it's simply going to stretch its unique model of informal, human-led adaptation even further. That ability to bend without breaking, that is its defining feature.
And that leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? In a world where cities everywhere are facing these brand new, unprecedented levels of stress, Cairo's story suddenly feels more relevant than ever. If this constant, informal adjustment is the real secret to urban survival, then what can the messy, resilient, and persistent city of Cairo teach the rest of us?